We started the countdown this month. Next week will be Ducharme-Jones here, and we'll have a little bit of a celebration as we get ready to take a break in July and August. And we will be back right after Labor Day. So we are looking forward to finishing out June. We have a show tonight, and then we're also going to be at the Art Festival next Sunday. And we will be doing a little Monday Night Live with 3 guests. Let's see, who are they? We have Adam Bruce, Diana Washir, and Jason Wall-Smith. Yeah, so that'll be Sunday from 3 to 4:15 or 3 to 4:30, something like that. So come look for us down there. We're hoping it's going to be a beautiful day. And then we will close out with our band next week with, a couple of special guests getting up, having some. What's that? Oh, yeah. Dave and I will be in Urbandale at Lions Park with our band. Bring a lawn chair. Come on out and join us. I want to take a moment, though. It was a week ago on Monday at 7 p.m. that we lost Wendy Hull. And last week, I noticed that there was an empty spot at the bar, and I thought about Wendy. But I had read in her post that she wasn't feeling well for 2 or 3 days, and I think I'd commented just concerned and hoping she was feeling better. She had lost a job, but that was like Wendy did contract work. So she would do these contracts, they would come to an end, and then she would fret a little bit and worry, but she always landed on her feet. Wendy had a way of getting right back to work. She had an incredible work ethic. And, just to match her music attendance ethic, right? Like that girl was a music machine. So when she wasn't here last week, I was concerned, but I thought, I know she wasn't feeling well, and still, I thought that isn't like Wendy. So anyway, I would like to just take a moment, close your eyes, let's just take a moment of silence here and appreciate Wendy Hull. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, been a rough week. So, on to tonight. A couple of you guys have been really excited. You've been telling me about SOBS, Society of Broken Souls. So tonight we are celebrating the music of Dennis and Lauren. And so we've got Ben on bass, we've got Dave on guitar, we've got Russ on drums back there, Dennis and Lauren. They're going to bring you a beautiful set of music. Then we're going to take a little break, and then we'll interview with Dennis and Lauren and hear a little bit more about what they're up to. One more thing. Starting tonight, we have a grill going out on the patio with some grilled hot dogs and hamburgers and grilled onions and all sorts of yummy stuff out there. I can't wait to have one. So please feel free to help yourself. We're kind of experimenting with some ideas around here. We're hoping maybe to have Philly cheesesteaks one of these days soon. Yeah, and some vegetarian options, yes. So anyway, all right, if you're new to Monday Night Live, which I don't think any of you are, and you don't know how this works, the way these musicians get paid is through the generosity that you share in the buckets, and we'll pass those around throughout the evening a couple of times. And then also there's a card on your table that have a Venmo site that you can point your camera at, and it'll take you right to the Venmo of Scott Sutherland. And at the end of the show, he'll be sharing that information with us, and we'll take care of the musicians. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. They'll be right up.
Thank you guys for being here. What a nice crowd. The only other time we played Monday Night Live, it was at the Greenwood, and it was during the state fair.
And it seems everyone went to the fair that night. Almost everyone. Let them trouble you no more. Let them trouble you no more. Still close your eyes. Gather up your breast. For we all
Freedom on
shine, shine down on your newborn skin, and let it shine on your newborn skin. Leave it all at the river, the burdens and worries wrecked upon the shore. Now that you've been delivered, they'll trouble you no more. No, they'll trouble you no more.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, y'all. We've been playing that song a little while now, but never with all that, man.
We started off around a single mic with an acoustic guitar and a fiddle. This is a long, long way away from that. This is a song I wrote a long time ago. We don't really perform it that much, but I thought it would be kind of fun to do it with a full band. And it's your basic, standard, fair murder ballad. And if you're a folk singer, you need to have one of those. This is a love triangle kind of thing. And when I first started writing songs, I realized that sort of deep in the Appalachian tradition, women were always being murdered, and they were almost always being murdered by a guy named Willie. And so William gets it in this one. Came to me one July morn with the dew still on the grass, dust from the road like the finest Thank you.
You're probably going to hear this a lot, but this is just so much fun, getting to do this with the full band. So one night, Lauren made the mistake of telling me that she was having trouble sleeping. And she said, suddenly it occurred to her, if you can hold off before turning on her mic, because she's trying to correct me right now. Go ahead. What'd you have?
I was startled asleep. I had one of those adrenaline rushes.
Startled awake.
Startled awake.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Carry on.
So she was startled awake. What would being startled asleep? That's like rapid onset narcolepsy. But anyway, sorry, I digress. Anyway, she said she was comforted by this sudden knowledge that there were 49 angels that had the house surrounded. And
I have no idea where that came from.
they were looking after us. And so,
I was half asleep.
this song came from that. Straight from the bottle, I open the throttle. Now the doorman will loan me his key. Out on the sidewalk, burying the kids' chalk, you skipped your way over to me. And all through the night, it was whispers and sighs, recorded the sum of our fears, till I lay down my head and slept like the dead. Woke to the splash of your tears, dancing the night away, where no one knows our name. We twist and we turn, we wish, we burn, and we find one another someday. Sees through me, she laughs at me from under my bed. Anxious and waiting with the moonlight fading, painting the clouds in my head. Searching for grace, I recall the place, lost to the toss of a coin, where it's heads I win, we'll see you again, 'cause boys will be boys will be. Dancing the night away, where no one knows our name. We twist and we turn, we crash and we burn, and we find our way home someday. They're hauling out ashes left from the masses where I once took your name in vain. But those days are over and now that we're sober, we've made friends with the pain. And it's 49 angels clear as church bell, watching you while you sleep. I call them my friends and I ask them my love her soul to keep. Dancing the night away when no one knows our name. We twist and we turn, we live and we learn, and we find a way back someday. Dancing the night away when no one knows our name. We twist and we turn, we long and we yearn, and we find a way home someday.
A lot of these songs we're hearing for the first time with them. That was one of them. These guys really are on it. You know, while it's quiet, could I get a touch of both my vocals up in the monitor a little bit? I'm having trouble hearing. Thanks.
We had a 2-hour drive in today, and we are without an air conditioner in our little RV. And so these instruments are like, wait a minute.
Are we hot? Are we cold? Are we hot? Are we cold?
They'll be settled and stable by the time the show is over. I used to introduce this as a song I wrote to the other love of my life. Ooh, wrong key. Boy, that would have been a nightmare. Yeah. Might have been jazz. All right, once again.
That his sky runs on forever, clear to the shadow of the plains. The painted sage that gathers the snow from the Saratoga Range. Crowds wander down Elk Mountain, drift south in the November wind. Like birds lost before when lost, just to be found again. Purple rust and dusted rooftops, all the truckers just roll on by. They don't see her living away, then they don't see her smile. She looks to me with open arms, no wonder where I've been. Blankets me in all her charms, and I am free again. Daring, untamed beauty, immortal in her youth. All spread out wide before me, Wyoming lies between me and you. Up all night with the whispered woods, secret shared with no man. So showing my scars until the wood hurts, till I'm lost, drifting across her land. The snow fences of Sweetwater County stand in cold salute, asking nothing of me. They see everything but you. Oh, as she calls to me, it's not wild and new. The daring, untamed beauty, immortal in her youth. Waking soft beside me, Wyoming lies between tin slow on the shoulder. I see your eyes in the sun. Come tonight, it'll get much colder with this ride only half done. I'll make Cheyenne by dark, gonna leave her with a tender kiss, because she bears a naked heart bleeding with my restless hands. Oh, as she calls to me, it's longer while than new. Take beauty, immortal in her youth, promising the world to me, but Wyoming lies between me and you. Promising the world to me, Wyoming lies between me and you.
This next song is it's a opening track on our first album that we did as Society of Broken Souls. And it was supposed to be a throwaway song. I was in a songwriting group, and we met weekly, and I was always unprepared. Always. I don't do well under pressure like that, and so I said, well, I'm going to write one of those songs where you just repeat the line over and over and over again, and that way you have to come up with way fewer words. And I really thought that was going to be the end of this song. It was just, but everybody liked it, and the more we played it, the more people said, you've got to keep playing that. So we did. So here we are. This is another one we haven't heard yet. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tired of towing their line, tired of
it's finicky. So, I had been in a dry spell for writing for a long time. And you hear a lot of stories about songwriters that they've been writing the same 4 songs over and over again throughout their whole career. And I believe this is an extension of that phenomenon, in that the character in this story, I think she started out years ago in a song that I lost. We've tried to find it through all these old notebooks and never could. But that song was called Pawn Shop Diamond Ring. And I think that character has traveled from that era to this one, which is called Barefoot Dancing. Just like we rehearsed it.
The tall grass waves in the afternoon with the heat on the rise. The dust won't settle to the shining moon. It lights up the sky. I hear the call of the red-tailed hawk dancing across the wind. With your painted eyes and your alibis, oh sister, where you been? In your threadbare dress with your hair a mess and toes stinging in the dirt. You're a freeborn girl, you're gonna give it a whirl. It don't matter who gets hurt. A wink and a smile, and all the while you lead 'em far from home. Then you leave him out back just tied to the track all alone. Barefoot dancing on the graves of dreams, waiting on the rain. Saw you watching from across the street when they carried the bones away. Now talk is cheap and they like to peek over the fence at you, but you're paying no mind. It's just a waste of time until they gave you something to do. So give them a show before you go, maybe burn the whole place down. Strike a match like an itch to scratch with the flames for a crown. Barefoot dancing on the graves of dreams, waiting on the rain. Saw you watching from across the street when they carried your bones away. Clears and they dry their tears, you'll be 1,000 miles away. Sweeping up the ash in the aftermath, they'll have nothing left to say. Smolder in the older part of town, under the dry blue sky. There ain't no thud in the underground, and there ain't no reason why. Stop for a drink on the way out of town, 'cause the neon caught your eye. The jukebox was playing just a little too loud, but the liquor made you smile. Now you're 6 shots into a baker's dozen, calling for another round. Went off come the shoes and those worn out blues, and your soul hits the ground. Barefoot dancing on the graves and dreams, waiting on the rain. Saw you watching from across the street when they carried the bones away. Saw you watching from across the street when they carried the bones away. Saw you watching from across the street when they carried the bones away. Thank you.
So you guys, do you like to hear the stories of where the songs came from? Okay. So years ago, we bought a piano before we knew that people would pay you to take them away. We paid somebody. And it was our neighbor, and he was moving, and it was an old upright from the 30s. And we thought, well, we'll just wheel it to our house. He was about 2 blocks away, and you know, it's that illusion that everything's flat in Iowa, but we realized that there was actually a downhill. And so there were 5 of us wheeling this piano down, and then we had to kind of come around the corner so it didn't keep going down the hill. And we somehow got it into the house. We're stuck with it now, and it's never going to be in tune, ever, 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 ever. This is why I have this now. But I sat down to write a song for my husband. It was our anniversary was coming up, and I don't know, maybe it's that same character in Pawn Shop in this one. So it's kind of a little, it's a love song, but it's not really about us. But it started off with that intention, and it's just about a couple of broken people who might find some love after all. So it's called Fortuna. Suffering bar stool with your sad barbed wire heart, the end of the day surely finds you, while the smoke from the ashtray like 7 silk veils seduces you into the bitter blues, and you watch as a girl with more tattoos than years, more
should share that with everyone else.
So this next song we're going to do is a song that I wrote for my dad. My dad was a very micromanaging kind of guy. He cared very deeply about everyone in his life, and he thought if he controlled every last detail of our lives, that he would keep us safe. And I didn't really appreciate it, but he died in March, and so I'm learning to have a new appreciation for how much he cared about us. But I wrote the song long before he died, and sometimes it's hard for me to sing it because in the end he was probably one of our biggest fans, and so it's weird for me to know that he's not. I mean, I imagine he's listening from somewhere. My sister claims that up in heaven they've nicknamed him God Jr. because he's trying to take over the place up there. So we'll see. We'll see if that's I don't know if I'll ever be able to know if that's actually true. But I keep small pieces of him with me, and this is one of his T-shirts that I like to wear. It makes me feel a little bit comforted. But anyway, this is a song I wrote for my dad, and it's been gone about 3 months now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Don't need someone to rescue me from the places that I land, and I don't need your pity, sure as hell don't need your scorn, just need someone to walk by me when I walk through the storm. Don't need a perfect life wrapped up in a goddamn perfect bow. My roses are drunk, but they're just what I need. The daisies are making love by the garage there in the weeds. your demons locked up good and tight. Don't want them to be free so we can shine in the light. Our skeletons are getting restless, locked behind that closet door. Let's invite them outside, and we'll all tear up that dance floor. Let me be your witness for the fight. The wounds and the stories that you leave, the rust and the slurs and the scars on your heart. Witness for this wild life that you lead. A witness for this precious life that we lead. This one and only life that I lead. Thank you. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
All right, it's that time. I gotta go, gotta shake you all down for this. But you know the routine, and if you know it, and maybe someone you're sitting with doesn't know it, this is how we support this every Monday, is through your generosity. And that's why we're going to take a break in July and August, so you guys can all go back to work, earn a bunch of money, come back in September, and give it to us. If you like what you're seeing here, and I think you do, I do, and you have all made this what it has been and has become. So when you stop coming, we'll stop playing. So we really appreciate everything you've done to support us through this last year and a half. So, yeah.
I'll say something on that note. In addition to the financial support, without you, we're just that person walking down the road talking to ourselves. So thank you for not letting us be that person.
We're going to sing whether you listen or not, so it really helps that somebody's listening, because otherwise we do look like the crazy person. I mean, we are a little crazy, but that's all right.
So I got hung up on a television show that I loved the writing and I loved the music too. And I decided I wanted to write a song that would be in the soundtrack to it, which I never tried to make happen, because I think by the time I caught onto the show I was watching reruns. But have to have a time machine. But Hell on Wheels, Mr. Cullen Bohannon.
A 100 miles of railroad track in a pair of worn-out boots. Well, I've been there and back, trying to find you. Up all night, dusk till dawn. Well, I've seen right and wrong. 100 miles of railroad track in a pair of worn-out boots. 100 days of cloudless sky, sweating right through my clothes. I sing the song of the corvidai while the road gives fills up her bones. One for sorrow and two for joy. Hallowed ground now raise my voice. 100 days of cloudless sky, sweating right through my clothes. Rattling bones and burning sage that won't do no good at all. There comes a time to pay the wage for those of us who fall. Traveled down a gravel road on my hands and knees. Found myself there all alone with nothing left to grieve. Shadows weeping at ballet, they saw me coming and they danced. Chasing sorrow down a gravel road, weeping on my hands and knees. Rattling bones and burning sage that won't do no good at all. There comes a time to pay the wage for those of us who fall. Said a prayer to an afternoon moon to chase the devils away. Starved my soul and he fed my rage until all that remained. Bloodshot eyes and trembling legs, battered and broken hands, holding nothing but the naked truth, with no place to stand. A fever night, a fitful sleep, lying next to your ghost. The song of you, it strips me clean and it burns these earthbound clothes. Let the night undress our sins, sanctified we begin again. A fitful night, a fevered sleep, making love to your ghost. Rattling bones and burning sage that won't do me no good at all. There comes a time to pay the wage for those of us who fall.
So we got a couple more for you, and then we're going to take a break. And I guess we get interviewed in the second half and in between. I told Annie not to ask us any hard questions. No trick questions.
Somebody in the band, I don't remember who it was, said, "Don't worry, it's all religion and politics." So
That was Ben.
Ben did. I didn't know. I didn't want to throw anybody under a bus. So this next song doesn't have a story so much as the origin is, I have an obsession with delay pedals. I don't know how many musicians are out there, but it's just one of the effects pedals. I have 3 of these on my board. They all do somewhat slightly different things. And I mean, you can spend
Steve
a
Miller?
lot of time on, like, you can take one pedal and, like, for weeks you can just play with it and have fun. Anyway, one day I had 2 of them running together, and they made a sound that I liked, and so the song came from that. I had to write a song to make it work. No train moving slow, heading down the line. No train, it moves so slow, taking its sweet time. Baby says we gotta let it roll, roll on through the night. No train, it comes and goes, so don't hold on too tight. My eyes trace the lines of the circles in your sky. Where heaven knows the story's told, and all your rusted shines.
Come on, boy, pack it up and bring it all on down. The rails shine like a brand new dime when you're leaving town. The whistle blows and no one knows where we're bound tonight. So let the train just rattle along and leave behind the fight.
Just close your eyes and trace the lines of the circles in your sky. Heaven knows the story's told, all your rusted shines. So get on board the nowhere train, leave your worries far behind. It moves so slow and it comes and goes, but it's always right on time. So get on board the nowhere train, it's pulling out tonight. Let it rock, baby, let it roll, let it ease your troubled mind. Just close your eyes and trace the lines of the circles in your sky. The whistle blows and heaven knows that all your rusted shines. So get on board the nowhere train and head on down the line.
So I have to tell you that that was the first song that we sort of did a run through with these guys when we were doing sound check, and the song we recorded that song in our attic, and Dennis's first instrument is actually drums, And that's one of our favorite drum parts that he's done. And Russ just really just picked it up and nailed it. Like it's not just a normal like keeping the beat kind of thing. It's a different drum part. And so when we were first trying to run through it, and I could tell he really had listened to the recording. I couldn't sing because I was like smiling. You can't sing when your cheeks are like this. So this is we're gonna play this and then take a short break. About a year and a half ago, I did another songwriting challenge. I like to put myself through a little bit of hell every once in a while, and this was kind of a particular songwriting challenge. Like you had to use the words that they told you. You couldn't really deviate from. Like they wanted the phrase in the song. I thought, well, that's kind of. I think of prompts as just something to get the idea going, but no.
And if I may interrupt, I don't know if y'all have picked up on this yet, but does she look like someone who's probably going to follow all the rules? Or willingly follow all the rules?
I look pretty innocent, I think. That's how I get away with stuff. My sister and I were, she's probably watching this and she's going to be horrified, but a couple years ago, we were coming back from Canada. My family's Canadian, and we were coming back from Canada, and they were stopping everybody and going through everybody's luggage, and they just waved us through, and we just said, we should be drug dealers. Nobody's going to stop us. Sorry, Mom.
Well, you used to be the ones they didn't stop.
Now they stop everybody. Anyway, so this was like song 9 of 10, I think, and the prompt was rundown hotels, and at this point I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just not going to put the hotel part in. I'll just use the imagery. Nobody was going to kick me out at that point, so it was online too, so it didn't matter. But anyway, this is a little bit of a before the pandemic, Dennis and I would do 85 to 100 shows a year, and we were touring around the country. And then the pandemic hit, and we watched all those shows get canceled. And then we freaked out, and then we got unemployment, and then we rode our bikes and had fun. And kind of said, wow, that life on the road all the time was a bit much. So this song was more about like just accepting where we are in our lives right now. I work full-time at the public library instead of being touring around the touring musician. But if you're going to work, the library. I love my job. I get lots of stories. So anyway, so this is just kind of just accepting where we are and being okay with having fun, just playing music. So it's called Flying High, and we'll see you for the next set after this. I can't remember. Are you guys coming in with me at the beginning? Okay, great. 1, 2, 3, 4. Race of freight trains down the back roads and ticking off these county lines. Don't bother with the rear view boy, 'cause we're leaving it all behind. Nothing on this highway but the shadows of the past. Nothing in this life is ever meant to last. Shattered dreams and tumbleweeds. Thank you.
All right, everybody, hit the bar, man, and we'll be back in just a little bit.
As soon as the semis blend into the sounds, I look up through the ash tree and I picture your face. I could see your green eyes and your long leg trim thighs, surrounded by countryside. With my finger I trace. Yes, I'm day drunk and boozy, I'm far off and woozy, and I'm missing all your kissing after pissing it away. The slow trickle of water reminds me of my daughter, and her smile like my mother with her long dark hair. As the crows convene, they squawk and scream, they're gonna scavenge a squinty. Man, life ain't fair. Yes, I'm day drunk and boozy, I'm far off and woozy, and I'm missing all your kissing after pissing it away. Faraway cities glowing, but in darkness I'm sowing seeds on starlight soon growing. And I'm down on my knees, I pray to my muse, and she visits me often, the sweet ghost of the garden. Please set me free. Yes, I'm day drunk and boozy, I'm far off and woozy, and I'm missing all your kissing after pissing it away. Yes, I'm day drunk and boozy, I'm far off and woozy, and I'm missing all your kissing after pissing it away. Thank you.
That's a good tune, folks.
Thank you. This next song is an old song. I wrote this when I lived out in Boulder, Colorado. It's off my second album. The song is called Names. It's also kind of another song. It's about a few different people that have a similar problem. Henry, Henry, Henry rides a passenger train through the Appalachian Mountains in a cold November rain. He replays a final moment when she was earnest and frank. Her arms across her chest, she said, I no longer love you, Hank. Charlie, 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 he lets out the Jake brake, heading west through Wyoming, hauling a windmill blade. And right on the edge of town, Memory kicks and bucks of that mysterious Cheyenne cowgirl that rode right off on Chuck. A painful shame stretched out in strain. Nobody knows my name. William kicks the can down the tracks, 1,000 miles away from home, every day looking back to a mama with the needles and his father's swigs and swills. How the anger and the volume got turned up and down on Bill. A painful shame stretched out in strain. Nobody knows my name. Jimmy, he hasn't gotten very far. He's always yelling at the sports teams on the TV at the bar. Well, he comes and leaves alone every night exactly the same. He getting slurry, sloppy drunk. It's such an ugly side of James. A painful shame stretched out in strain. Nobody knows my name. A painful shame stretched out in strain. Nobody knows my name. Nobody knows my name.
Snow keeps falling on my face, sprinkled from the sky. Even though it's always been, I've never thought of why. I've grown up to accept the fact it's just a part of life, that the further north I take myself, my home is what I find. Many wind have scorned my name like others from day of old, and many folk have moved away from lies that they've been told. But there's nothing more that I'd wish for my child to behold, that the warmest part of a love I found from beauty in the cold. Never mind what she told, the beauty's in the cold. quicker than a mink, running from the nimble fox whose teeth proceed to sink into its prey. Another day that never stood a chance, from the predetermined past that cross in winter's wonderland. Never mind what you told, beauty's in the cold. Never mind what you told, the beauty's in the cold. Beauty's in the Step right up and take a trip with me, way back to the year in 1933, when the law was large and sniffing round. Oh, the moonshine's still sitting high on the mound. This ain't no tale like a copperhead roll. They caught my ass and then they shot me cold. I'll do the pine box boogie, I'll do the pine box boogie. Oh, nobody talks to me, because I look a little spooky. Well, there ain't a blue-eyed bluesy who'd give it up to me when you're down in the ground doing the pine box boogie. With the state of the day, it ain't too grim down here. You be looking pretty funky with that legal Everclear, not as tasty as the batch Grim Taffy once made. Talking about the shine that made his old lady shake, but it hit that tongue and sure went a willy to show you how to do the pine box boogie. Do the pine box boogie. Boogie. Oh, nobody talks to me, 'cause I look a little spooky. Well, there ain't a blue-eyed bluesy who'd give it up to me when you're down in the ground doing the pine box boogie. Well, there ain't a blue-eyed bluesy who'd give it up to me when you're down in the ground doing the pine box boogie. There ain't a blue-eyed bluesy who'd give it up to me when you're down in the ground doing the pine box boogie. Oh, nobody talks to me, 'cause I look a little spooky.
I like country music. I like the old country music. I don't like so much the new country music that these guys are playing around sometimes with the new stuff. So I wrote a song about that, and here it is. It's called Nashville Line. Didn't need much more, no, just 2 chords and a bottle door to open
Memphis, been to Nashville too, Lord. I've been down there in Austin, Texas, where Billy Joe sings the blues. Say where Billy Joe sings the blues. They're cooking up songs just to steal you blind, making money off those same kind of rhymes. I can smell one from 100 miles. Another bullshit Nashville line. Say, hey there, girl, won't you climb inside? I'll slap you on the ass, I'll buy you a drink, I'll feed you a Nashville line. Say, I'll feed you a Nashville line. They're cooking up songs just to steal you blind, making money off those same tire rhymes. I can smell one from 100 miles. Another bullshit Nashville line. Hey! There's still a few outlaws, still getting it right. We got Elizabeth Cook, Sturgill Simpson, and them rebels on the east side. And there's still golden fingers and voices that'll make you cry. But it's the business side of the music business keeps feeding us these Nashville lines. Keeps feeding us these Nashville lines. They're cooking up songs just to steal you blind, making money off those same kind of rhymes. I can smell one from 100 miles. Another bullshit Nashville line.
Guess you could say
I've been super awkward all day. It's in my nature, I don't ever wanna have to live a lie. Everybody's got their own way of speaking. When you listen, just get to know me deeper. Oh, and if you think I'm crazy, well, I'm crazy for identity. Well, come on, but you don't say. We can take these walls down, take them all down. It's about time that we don't feel like a waste of space and being out of place. All these things, you gotta keep it on, keep it in mind. You're never gonna find who I can be and who I wanna be and where I come from. When I was young, oh, just keep on waiting, just keep on waiting. And pretty soon you're gonna have to see, just keep on waiting, just keep on waiting till you see the real reality. So come on, come on, come on, yeah. Well, come on, got feeling alright. Well, come on, come on, well, come on, yeah. You got feeling alright. Mr. Please, will you tell me what I should believe? You said, son, don't fret. You need no love that then you won't forget. No, eh. Not everyone's good like you choosing. Not everyone will like the shoes you walk in. Hey, mister, thank you for the good advice. Come on. And all these things, you gotta keep it on, keep it in mind. You're never gonna find who I can be and who I wanna be and where I come from. When I was young, oh, just keep on waiting, just keep on waiting. And pretty soon you're gonna have to see, just keep on waiting, just keep on waiting till you see the real reality. So come on, come on, oh, come on, yeah. Well, come on, got feeling alright. Come on, come on, come on, yeah. You got feeling alright.
Interview standing up because these guys are going to be playing standing up in just a little bit. Again, I want to start with just thanking you guys for trusting us and joining us for Monday Night Live. I think it takes a lot of courage for musicians, original artists, to accept an invitation, really not knowing what to expect, and then coming and joining us and trusting that within a couple of hours we're going to produce a show together, right? Yeah.
All my correspondence to people we're playing a show on Monday night. It's going to be live streamed. There's a full band. We've never met them.
Yeah, we're going to be playing with a band that we've never met.
Equal parts excitement and terror. Right. What could go wrong?
Exactly. So, this is we try to feature Iowa songwriters. So my first question to these guys is, how are you Iowans? How did you end up in Iowa?
How long
Tell us
do
a
you
little bit
have?
about that.
The quick story is that, so Dennis is from Texas. I was born in New York City, and we met in Seattle, and we live here now. And like you do.
Like you do.
But when I moved from I'm going to just confess, please don't leave when I say this, but I was the classic East Coaster who considered this flyover country. And sorry, I'm so sorry. I was so wrong. I moved from the East Coast to Colorado, and I crossed the Mississippi. I never got off 80 except to stay at a hotel. And I was like, why doesn't anybody talk about how beautiful Iowa is? I just fell in love with the state. So that was in 95, and I said, I'm going to retire in Iowa. I just got that idea in my head. And then fast forward many years later, I had some land in Colorado. I sold. We couldn't afford anything in Seattle. My sister-in-law, who grew up in Webster City, said, well, you could buy a house cheap in Iowa, but she doesn't live here anymore, and she was being sarcastic.
But we also, in Seattle, when that was suggested to us, we had like 3 different friends that were musicians.
That we were good friends with that were all from Iowa.
All from Iowa. And they were like the nicest people.
They were such good people.
And we were like, well, yeah.
But when she said that, I thought, oh, that's right. I was going to retire in Iowa. And she said I was kidding. I was like, no, I fell in love with Iowa. So we got this idea in our head, and I looked at Webster City. I looked at real estate, because that's where my sister-in-law was from. There was real estate. There was a farmhouse for $29,000 with 6 acres.
And I'm in the other room, and she's like reading this online. And she's like, it's... You know,
I'm
she
sure
reads
it
me
was
the
completely
description.
falling apart.
But I'm like cooking, and I'm like, well, hit the buy button. Like, can you like surely that won't last.
We lived in Seattle, you have to know. But anyway, fast forward, I looked at Elkader because it sounded like a cool town. I looked at Decorah. I had no idea what I was doing. And then 2 different people told us that they had heard good things about Fairfield. First one I dismissed because he was prone to meditating 8 hours a day. I thought I was crazy. And the second one I thought, okay, two people said this. And so here we are, 17 years later. This is the longest I've lived anywhere. I've always been a gypsy, and I have lived in Iowa longer than I've lived anywhere else. So I guess I'm an Iowan
You're
now.
an Iowan, yeah.
I still have a little bit of piss and vinegar New Yorker, though.
I'm glad you bring that to Iowa. We need a little bit more of that here. So my next question really is about, how you guys work on music together. How as songwriters, what do you do together? What do you do apart? How does your process work, and how do you produce your music?
So, we each, if she's singing it, she wrote it. If I'm singing it, I wrote it. And usually it comes from the one who wrote it, like, typically on a guitar, but, sometimes with her it might be on a piano. And we bring it and say, hey, this is a new song. And we kind of just start fleshing out how we think it should go, like verses and choruses and instrumentals and whatnot. What instrumentation, what sound, what textures we're after, what instruments, because we usually play as a duo. And there was a time, if you had seen us in the past, where we would try to cover some of the percussion with pedal boards and different things we'd stomp on and beat a cymbal and whatever.
Gave that up.
Yeah, it's just, you can only do so much up here.
But we are pretty solitary writers. We don't
Yeah.
write together. We co-wrote one song, and it was only because we were supposed to. It was somebody asked us to do the music for a film, and we had to co-write something. But we had a topic, so they gave us an idea. But most of our writing, except for that one song, all of our writing is solitary. And then we bring it to the other one,
But when it comes to the other one, it also comes almost in 2 forms, and that is, what will it sound like live?
Right.
And then what will it sound like recorded? Because with the magic of technology, you can layer in different things.
And we both play multiple instruments,
Yeah.
so on all of our recordings, it's he plays drums and bass, I play bass, and I sort of play bass. I pretend to play bass, but I do. We do everything. We don't hire out our parts to anybody else, and so we have this image of what we hear in the studio, and then we have to
try to figure out a way to bring
right.
that to you live with just 2
And
people.
sometimes it happens in the opposite. Sometimes we've been playing it live for a while and haven't even looked at it in the studio. So it's a really organic process,
But
I think.
while it's a solitary process, there are many times, because when we were on the road so much, one of us is driving, and we're usually in silence. And the one driving will say, hey, grab my notebook and write this down. And so there's a partnership there. But then the other thing is, we'll tell each other to write things down.
Something will come out of one of our mouths, and we'll say, "You go,
Write
go
that
write
down. Yeah. Text that to me real quick, something. So.
And you don't steal it from each other.
No, we did. So we did have this one. I have to tell this story. No, it was not a theft. It was not.
There is no theft.
There is one theft in the next song we're gonna. Oh God, they're back to back. So there's a phrase in the next song, the song we're gonna do together, just the two of us, that we're gonna sing my song first, and then we're gonna sing his song, and it's gonna sound like he copied me because we're playing second, but I copied him, and I didn't even realize it. I was like, I think I took that from. He's like, yeah, it's one of my songs. So, but there was a time, and it's a very long story, so I'll try to condense it. But we ended up helping a very, very inebriated older man home to his home. He was stumbling, and we didn't want him getting in the car. So
you don't recognize him out here, do you?
No. This was down where we live. Yeah. So we got him to give us the keys. We got him to give us the keys, and Dennis drove his truck, and I followed, and we talked to him, and
we sat up for hours.
He didn't know
with
who
him.
we were. Like, he would talk to us, and then he'd be like, "Who are you? Are you guardian angels?" But at one point, he pointed to a picture of his deceased wife, and he said, "She was the volume of all my heart." And we got in the car, and I said, "It's mine."
Yeah.
Which sounds really horrible.
It's kind of like the front seat. So
I called it. I got it. But other than that, there's no theft.
Do you guys have a home studio that you recorded? Yeah, okay.
We do. It's up in our attic, and
It's
right
very
now,
small.
this time of year, you don't
very
get a lot.
hot.
You don't get a lot done up there.
Yeah. Well, that's good wintertime activity,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, we have a wood stove, so the heat rises.
Yeah. Anybody have any? Yeah.
I fell in love with you guys last year at Johnson Farmers Market. It was 195 degrees.
It was.
Humidity. And then you guys were fabulous. And then playing with this band, it's like you played with them forever. How long has it been?
We met them today at 4:00. Yes. We have never met these people before. And
we never play with a band. It's only ever us.
And you brought up, you said, use the word trust. And, you can look them up online and watch the performances here on Monday Night Live, and it's clear that they're accomplished musicians and they're able to put something together. But it's also, you're able to pick up on that sometimes they know the artist, so perhaps they've, familiar with each other's songs. But there is a level of trust that particularly for us, as we said, we do all of this ourselves at home in our studio, and to hand it over to somebody else, you can't be a control freak about that, because then you'd just be robbing the other person of whatever their creative input is going to be. And so, we show up, we had provided recordings and offered up a little bit of notes about arrangements or whatever.
We actually had a little bit of a role reversal too, because I went to music school to study to be a symphonic musician, and clearly that didn't work out. And I have this expectation of perfection that's really hard to let go of, and I was getting really excited for this, and he was starting to freak out about it, and I was like, wow, this is just really weird, this little switcheroo.
And it wasn't so much the inability to trust that they would be able to do it. It was just the experience as a whole. We're used to playing without this volume and this energy on stage, so it's a totally different experience, and you don't know what it's going to do to you. But my experience, as soon as we broke into the first song, I couldn't stop smiling, because these guys are amazing, and when as a duo, and you saw us as a duo, there's so much energy you're trying to put out there in your songs.
It's exhausting,
and you can't do that with just two instruments. And then you add drums and bass and this, insanely melodic guitar player. adding all this atmosphere and this foundation, and it's like, oh, the pressure's gone. I don't have to try and cover all this sonic territory. These guys are giving it, and it's just this bedrock that you can stand on and belt away at.
So it's been really, really fun. It's, I especially when I'm playing fiddle, because when I'm playing fiddle, a lot of times I'm still playing while I'm singing, and that sucks. That's really hard. And so a lot of times I was like, I don't have to play the fiddle right now. There's a whole band behind me. I can just sing.
Exactly.
So that's been great too.
Let them do the heavy lifting.
Thank you.
I think, the other thought that came to my mind as you guys were talking is, as a professional songwriter, it's a little scary to present your material to other professionals. I mean,
Yeah.
you're kind of bearing your soul, right?
Yeah, that actually was the most terrifying. I have all right, here we are. I don't know hardly any of you, but I have terrible, terrible issues with anxiety and not good enough syndrome and imposter syndrome. And so when I get on stage and we're just singing and playing, then I'm just singing and playing my songs. But when there's musicians behind me that really know what they're doing, I'm like, it's terrifying for me. It's very, very scary for me it's this fear of judgment, that it's not going to be good enough and up to their standards. And so I was just like, I'm just going to let that go and just have fun. And I'm having fun.
We definitely feel like we're in good hands all the way around, too, including Gabe and
Jameson.
I know
Thank you.
I was
It was like right
whiskey.
on the tip
I
of
know
my
it's whiskey.
tongue. You guys are amazing.
Well, and I think there's one other aspect that you guys are going to relate to, and that is, the energy that happens when you're playing to a listening audience.
Yeah.
There's something, right?
Absolutely.
There is something magic that happens that lifts musicians up when you guys are paying attention. And there's an energy in the room that is not the same if you're not paying attention. And so we are so blessed to have this incredible, group of people that come and join us and support live music and love live music.
Yes, very much so. There's a funny, Dennis and I were playing a show years and years ago, and nobody was listening and nobody cared. And he said, maybe we should just be like, write books and we can take our rejection at home in private. He was serious.
Well, without any further ado, let's get these guys. They're going to play a couple of songs on their own for you, and then when they're ready, they're going to call the band back up. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Just do remember when you hear the same line in my song and in Dennis's song, he wrote it first.
Oh, wow. Who said that?
Actually, Prison Walls was Truck Stop Souvenir. That was our first band. I've referenced that songwriting challenge that I did a couple times, and this was around Thanksgiving, and the theme was gratitude, and this was the one song that they said we didn't need to worry about. Getting a little feedback here. That we didn't need to worry about using the word gratitude. So this is I guess it's kind of a gratitude song. It's called Gray Skies and the Blues. Maybe pull my something out a little less. I'm getting some feedback. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's my vocals, I think. We good? Okay. It's called Gray Skies and the Blues. Wildflower weeds growing in the cracks of the concrete lot across the street. A visit from a sage of the 14th century, with his beautiful plans to set the rowdy prisoners free. way the good days always end too soon, and how we never cease to be amazed at the rising harvest moon. Somehow we seem to make it through the gray skies and the blues. I don't know what I would ever do without you. Sun through the window, casting a rosy glow as it shone on the autumn scarlet leaves. Driving around when we found that back road shop with the dusty old guitars and Tansin magazines. All the words we wrote, the crazy ways we tried to stay afloat, broken and mended and broken again, but loving every note. Somehow we seem to make it through the gray skies and the blues. I don't know what I would ever do without you. Don't know what I would ever do without you. Thank you.
So this one's a kind of a tricky one to really introduce and talk about. Unfortunately, somebody from my past died by suicide some years ago. And following that event, we were actually, I think we were driving across 20. I was thinking about that yesterday. It might have been.
Yeah, I think it was.
And it was March.
Might have been 30, I don't remember.
20 or 30. But we were heading west, and there was a bit of snow left, just that last bit of snow in the ditches. And the first line came to me, and I decided that this was the story to tell. So this is called More Lost Than Found.
The last of the snow lies stubborn on the ground, in the shade of the shadows of a mournful sound. And I heard a bird call my name. Won't you teach me to sing from these flooded plains, where the crosswinds are high on a midday run, just to chase in the night away. Here I am, long gone, gonna meet my maker someday. Well, slow down, it all leaves us broken and mended, it comes to an end. So let it pass, let all your days, both the graceful and the wicked, just wash away. For the hard times, the wage upon your soul, just a labor to be paid. And there you are, just barely gone, and the rest of us are left here to pray. Close my eyes to catch the wind and leave it all behind, to find my way to some bright day in a place that mercy might find. Come the fall, we all land hard, flat on our backs on the frozen ground, with the tears and the laughter that once rang loud, with a hanging in the air without a sound. It's a cruel, careless sky with no reason why we're just spinning around and round. Oh, here I am out among all these stars, much more lost than found. Here I am out among all these stars, much more lost than found.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. It's getting cold up here. I think we need to get the rest of the band back up.
That's
It's,
right.
It's getting cold.
Oh, that's okay. I love that spontaneous applause that just almost happened.
What did we call this? Did we call it?
Did we call it something else?
So at the risk of repeating myself, this was another part of that songwriting challenge. And the prompt for this song was Seventh Heaven. And I just looked at my husband and I rolled my eyes and I said, Seventh Heaven? I said, I am not the celestial kind. So that's how that made it into the song. All right. You ready? I don't know.
Okay, yeah, we'll see you there shortly after you start.
All right.
Yeah, kick it off.
1, 2, 3, 4. But down here in the bottomlands, there ain't no wishing well. Not much for higher ground, you won't find a citadel. It's just where me and the skeletons we landed when we fell. There ain't no paradise here where I dwell. Well, your hands, they look a little too soft, just a little too clean. You're looking like you're looking for a sweethearted beauty queen. But I don't want to be Santa under. And sometimes I can be a little bit mean. Don't know what you came here for, what you hoping to find. You think that I'm your angel, boy, well, you must be out of your mind. I don't want your seventh heaven, don't want cloud nine, 'cause I'm not celestial kind. Well, Mama wanted me to live among the finer folk, where the streets are lined with Spanish moss and sweet southern live oak. But I don't want to be settled under some rich man's yoke, so I set my mama's plans up in smoke. Now my neighbors are the ghosts and haunts, they follow me around. There's not much peace when they swing by, even though they never make a sound. They're telling me I'll never be eating bound, but I like it here on the ground. Don't know what you came here for, what you're hoping to find. If you think that I'm your angel, boy, well, you must be out of your mind. I don't want your seventh heaven, don't want cloud nine, 'cause I'm not the celestial kind. So if you want to venture down to these muddy banks, my sweet old shack is shelter from the cold, dark and dank. But I'm warning you, that table there is where my demons drank, and this river here is where my good dreams sang. Don't know what you came here for, what you're hoping to find. You think that I'm your angel, boy, well, you must be out of your mind. If you let go of seventh heaven, I might make you mine. I might be your kind, and you might guys are so fun. Could get addictive having a backing band. We have no money.
So we attended a songwriting workshop years ago at a farm in Ohio, and there were 9 writers there, I think, and we were cooped up in a house all day and talking about writing and things you do in a writing workshop. And it was April, and we got snow. You know how that is. And so it was just a light snow, but we walked out one night, and it was a little bit dark, and it had snowed, and there was this little dusting of snow. But there was an old grain silo, and just above it was this beautiful moon. And so I'm like, oh, you know, I've been thinking about songwriting all day, multiple days now, and April's moon, so.
April's moon is shining in a corn crib sky, underneath the carnival glass of your dreams. Winking crescent light against a window closed up tight, dancing with the torn and tattered screen. Where the lightning from the storm left your branches shattered and torn, strewn about the yard they lay in waste. Limbs piled high, ready for the fire, gonna burn the way to heaven's gate. Churchyard, it can't be in the sign. It's time for you to pack your bags and go. On the yellow rose on the dashboard, cracked and old, calling for to carry you on. Your saddle on the fence, 'cause you no longer ride, and now at last they're trying in the sun. What your daddy say, if it's all things left this way, it just might be best to cut and run. Above the churchyard, it can't be in the sun. It's time to take the sleep out of your eyes. Let them bells ring, throw back your head and sing. Susan Craig, left outside alone to play. Running around, they stayed out way past dark. In a song-shaped hole they hide all the treasures that they find, stole away inside their smiling hearts. That's above the churchyard, it can't read the sign. It's time for you to spread your forlorn wings. Leading hopeful eyes, got nothing left to hide. Let 'em shine bright, let 'em shine. Let 'em shine bright, let 'em shine. Let 'em shine bright, let 'em shine.
Thank you, guys. So we recently got into making videos. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I have an iPhone. And so we did a video I guess it's coming about a year and a half ago. We did a video for the song. It was so much fun. It was so much work, but it was so much fun to just play around with a different form of art. And now, unfortunately, every time we rehearse anything, all I can do is see the video that I'm going to create in my head. But this is a leaving song, and because we can't afford to hire anybody, I had to play the leaver. And I can't believe how many people called us and were like, "Is everything okay?"
And you know, I mean, think
It's
about this
it's
for a minute.
Song, people.
Who would go through like that worst period of your life, write a song about it, document it on film, and then share it with the world? You know?
Well, actually, a lot of people do that on like social media.
I guess it's just me.
But we play together in the video, so that's the part that's confusing to me, why people didn't understand that. We released it together. Anyway, we're fine. There's no breakup happening, but so this is goodbye. Yeah. Sure. One, two, three, four. Ruts in the gravel, they get deeper every day. Spinning your wheels around and around, you ain't never gonna get away. When your targets are all gone, you'll have no place to point your aim, leaving you with the empty shells of your games and the name and the blame.
Goodbye, I've seen way too many times. All the little ways to let you cross, too many forbidden lines. Don't care for your song, your words, or the hills you're left to climb. Nothing left to you and me but the wind blowing through the chime.
Scars on my back, no bruises on my face. The wounds you inflict on me, well, they were never meant to leave a trace. The lies I told myself, secret deals I always made, left me nothing but a love that frayed in the shade of your masquerade.
Goodbye, I've seen way too many times. All the little ways to let you cross, too many forbidden lines. Don't care for your song, your words, or the hills you're left to climb. Nothing left to you and me but the wind blowing through the chime.
Leaving you, leaving them. all my fears, prayed on my unbridled heart, then you cried those crocodile tears. You had me where you wanted, tortured by your gaze, torching it all, and I'm leaving behind the trailing days of the way.
Don't care for your sorry words or the hills you're left to cry. Nothing left but the wind blowing through the chimes. Nothing left, you and me, but the wind blowing through the chimes. Nothing left, but the wind blowing through the chimes.
Thank you.
So this is another new one. We have no cues at all for this. So.
Wheels are off.
Yes. We're almost to the end, so let's just pedal to the metal.
Let her rip.
This is called Song of Your Long Regret. The echoes around the river where the martyrs used to play call out for forgiveness. They ask for you by name. With your lilac smile and your hair so wild, you scared them away in the wind, till they found their way back along your banks, the shadows you once thought were kin. It's a long way down just to get back up, and the ghost in the shadows won't quit. But they did sing, but they'll leave everything unless when they're done with it. The God, he's a painter, and your heart's a scar, stitched and healed over again, until it bleeds you dry and it paints your sky all the colors you've never been. All the promises made for goodbyes, just lies shared among men, and cast away those demons that play the song of your long regret. Mornings are ribbon just loose in the wind, not tied down to anything at all, wrapped up in pain and under the strain is the weight of a high lonesome call. It's the look in the eyes of a broke down man, where mercy it tries to hide. Well, it'll find you there, this grace that you fear has left you alone with your pride. Break all the promises made for goodbyes, just lies shared among men, and cast away those demons that play the song
That song is so folky when we play it by ourselves. It's very folky. That was great.
That was fun.
All right, we got a couple more for you. We got a couple more for you. I'm going to jump over on piano. So when we decided to name ourselves Society of Broken Souls, we had two camps. There were the people who said, "Oh, I love that name," and then there were people who just cringed and walked away. And we've decided that the people who cringe and walk away are the ones who need the name the most. And we're mostly pretty happy. I think I mentioned that I work at the library, and somebody came into the library the other day, patron. He said, "You've been voted the happiest person in town." And I started to laugh because I was like, "Really? You should talk to my husband." But anyway, I feel like part of the reason we named our band that is because there's a tendency in our culture to want to shy away from the dark and the hard and the places that are scary. And I'm one of those people that just dives right in because I want to get to the other side. And so, but this next song that I wrote was based on an idea that I heard from an interview with John O'Donoghue, who was an Irish poet. He died too young. He died at like age 57. But in this interview, he was talking about how if we are still long enough, we can find a place deep inside our hearts or deep inside our being where we've never been wounded. And I thought that was such a wonderful idea because, we have these scars that pile up throughout the years, and the older you get, the more scars and the more wounds. But there's always going to be that place inside that's still never wounded. So that's what this song is about. It's called Never Been Wounded. They'll figure it out, right?
I know.
I am just a blackbird, rubies on my wings, sailing on the silver blue stem ocean. But oh, if you let me, I'll teach you how to sing. Sing till sorrow's just a passing notion. And I am just a blackbird, hood of aspen's gold. My song a rusted gate that slowly opens. Oh, when it opens, your story will be told. We'll stitch the seams of places that were broken. Fly with me, you just a starling, common so it seems. I'll never wear the sapphire of the blue jay. But oh, come closer, I've a fine metallic sheen. I'm a dumb and dusted iridescent bouquet. I am just a starling, one of 1,000 to fold. A song will never win your adulation. Oh, when we fly as one, heaven's heartbeat you'll behold. The consecration of a murmuration. You will see there will always be a place where you've never been wounded. Deep inside, your soul still is wild, and it will testify that your voice is not an illusion. Testify that your voice is not an illusion. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you guys. That was so cool. All right, we're down to the wire. This is the last song, isn't it, honey?
This is it.
I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, this is such a different experience for us, and just from the bottom of my heart, all three of you and Annie and here's the thing. I haven't had a day off in a long time, and when I was packing, I was just throwing crap in the RV. And last night we played outside and it was too hot and buggy to care about makeup. And today I was in a panic, tearing apart the RV, going, "Where's my makeup?" So I texted Dave and I said, "Dave, tell Annie to bring me some makeup." And she didn't. The text was late, so she turned around, she went home, and she brought me some makeup. Thank you. But seriously, like we just.
It takes a village, you know.
I don't know how to properly express my gratitude to everybody in this room, to the sound folks, to the bartenders. Tip them well, and especially to you all for showing up and giving us your ears and your attention. And this last song, we would like. Would you want to go through the honor?
I know we acknowledged this at the beginning, but there is a hole in this music community tonight, and this last song I wrote for music, and so I thought it would be very appropriate that we reflect and dedicate this to Wendy. So. This is called "Take Me There."
Take me there, 'cause I don't wanna know a thing. Only wanna glide above it all and listen to you sing. Paint for me a picture of a misty wooded land. Set me on a gray paint mail with the reins in my hand. and somber sounding dull and deep. Fill me up with wild-eyed wonder and never let me sleep. 'Cause it's a mindless, timeless, tragic, restless, wicked, twisted game we play. Oh, can you take me there? 'Cause I don't wanna rattle from the wind and the rain, but the hinges are broken and I'm feeling the pain. Wrap me up in flannel and pull me to the fire. When the flames die down, the shadows grow high. Can you lock the door and seal it up tight? Put your arms around me and hold me through the night. Wake me up at dawn, see the break of day. When the demons are gone, there ain't much to say. Like a tarnished antique mirror that's cloudy, gray, and cracked. Speak to me a vivid truth of all I hope to know. Soothe these scars and petty wounds, but heal my broken soul. Bring back to me the years I spent fighting the ways of man. Set me free on a winter's day with my life back in my hands. Just dance me around the joyful sound of that choir running loud. Lay me down in the hallowed ground when my time runs out. Take me there, 'cause I don't wanna know a thing. I only wanna glide above it all and listen to you sing.
Give it up for these guys. Seriously, wow. All right, next week, it's our last show for a couple of months. You've just got us, but I hope you come and hang with us, man, because we want to party. So see you next week.